sexy souls, and welcome back to this channel. My channel. I am going to be doing another energy checkup, but I do want to have, for each group, I do want to actually look into emotional triggers, as I feel like this week is something that it would benefit to have, it's not going to be a crazy week or anything, but it's just going to be a week that, your emotions might run high, and there could be a lot of things happening, and you might feel like a lot of things are happening all at once. That's just, when I was kind of tapping in there, that's the message I was getting. So I want to maybe look at, for each group, emotional triggers. But if you're new here actually, my intros, so what I do is I go with what I've been feeling collectively. I do a little meditation, a little channel, and just see whatever comes through, and then I kind of reevaluate it again. So one of the things that my intuition's kind of drawn me towards, because this is not something I've predicted, but now looking at the evidence on paper. So I have my own way of doing astrology. I do it very intuitively. I look at the actual where the celestial bodies are, and if you're interested, it's called Skystrology. If you're interested in that, just let me know. And I will link you up with a woman that teaches me a little bit about this. She has different courses and stuff, but it's for people who are very intuitive when it comes to learning information. So I'm very visual. I'm not very good with books and stuff like that, and mathematics and things like that. So this is my way of learning astrology, and it's actually a very nice journey. So anyway, moving on. So on the 20th of March, so Orion will be going 0 degrees in the moon. And for me, the last time, so I write things down, I kind of channel and connect into that constellation and feel what the energy is about and stuff. And one of the things that I've noticed is that Orion is like when the masculine and the feminine kind of comes together and merges. So it's a very awakening, or a lot of awakening could happen. And that is on the 20th of March. And another thing that I know that is happening around the world, I don't know too much information, I've just seen little things happening here and there. There are certain, I don't know how much I can say about this. There's like protests happening around the world. And yeah, so that could be a massive healing moment for the collective. And I do think that I do think that. But then also, what I have been feeling is that there's more being prepared here. There is a big thing happening in the collective, with people actually now having to make the choice, because it's getting very close to the end of people's patience, and people are actually starting to get very much on their last legs. So not me, this isn't going to be for everyone, this is collectively. It's just the collective consciousness overall is kind of fed up with this, and that's on multi-levels. So that's me, I'm okay, let's get something new. It's not that I want things to go back to normal, because no, I want things to change. So I'm kind of like that myself. But then there are people who are living in cities and they actually can't get out. They're on their last legs. You know what I mean? So collectively, people are just fed up now, and we're like, okay, we know something's up. Come on, move along here. So, and one thing that did come through was a particular man, and I feel like we thought this man was going to go away, and not many people like him. But I think that for some reason he has part to play here. He is the obstacle. So he's kind of going to be probably back in the public again. But very much this week for me has been very masculine. And then at the end of the week, the energy kind of shifts into the feminine kind of coming in. And the masculine kind of making sense of why they were getting so angry and frustrated, and why this kind of fire, because fire is that energy that destroys, but it also transmutes energy. So it's like the rising from the ashes, and I feel like a lot of people are going to have awakenings, these little moments of like, okay, not everybody, because a lot of people on my channel are very like tapped into what's going on anyway, but I feel like on a collective, it's like when that date, I don't know why, but that date just seems to be like a boom, where it's like a release. And anyone also that has been feeling this disconnect, I'm getting chills, disconnect with your partners, it's time to kind of, if you're still with your partner now, it's kind of time to come together and work on it, okay? If you know in your heart you don't want to leave this person, and you just are going through a little bit of ups and downs, because you don't just give up on everybody just because they're not agreeing with you. You can't do that with everybody. And I know in last week's energy update, some people might have broken up recently, and I think that was needed. But now it's kind of, what I'm hearing is anyone that was recently, just in maybe last week, started to have a wee bit of like tension in the family or whatever, that's kind of also going to be released in some way, and people are going to see a lot clearer on what's happening around the world. Yeah, I feel like everyone at the start of the week is going to feel a lot of kind of anxiety of just being like, not everyone, but like the people that need to feel it, the collective energy needs to kind of have this more condensed feel, like this tight energy that I'm feeling. It's like almost like twisting, it's like squeezing out people's emotions. It's like really, really tense at the start of the week. So that's like Monday, Tuesday, I feel. And this is like people who are in that 3D way of thinking, okay? So you might start to notice that certain things happen with people, that they have, you know, these emotional breakdowns or things like this. Also Aries is 0 degrees on Monday, so tomorrow. So that could be another reason why I was feeling that. Yeah. What else am I feeling? So moving on towards where we're going, moving into partnerships and stuff like that there. So obviously by the end of the week, Orion for me also is very much like, Orion's the hunter. He's the very powerful energy in that constellation, and there are negative entities that come from there as well. Negative, whatever. It's very much again like the very logical, like only logical and only. I don't know how to explain this. Because this came through in a vision that I was having one time. Yeah, so it's going to be a very angry filled kind of energy at the end of the week, but it's necessary. So because we need this to happen for the collective to kind of wake up a little bit more and free themselves more. I feel like by the start of the week they're ready for it. So yeah. Also I think that a lot of this is coming through. I don't want to make this intro too long, but one thing that I am hearing now is that people are so focused on, you have this choice or you have this choice. There is no one or the other. You have many choices to make in life. You can make just because, say you have only 2 options on a piece of paper and you have to tick off whatever option you want. That could be for voting for someone, or that could be for anything. It's a good example. As voting, actually. You don't have to vote. You don't have to actually tick anything. You don't have to agree to anything. So you don't have to agree to any choices, okay? So this is just what I want to say, because a lot of the time, when we get involved in people's like little circle of discussions, people like me feel very disconnected. But I like to actually observe. That's my choice now. My choice is to observe, because I know where I'm at. I don't need anyone to validate where I'm at, but I will observe what's happening with them. Because now where I look at things is, my mirror now is the collective, and that's through a lot of healing. You get to that point where people's lives don't really affect me anymore, because they don't trigger. I'm seeing myself in others, but I am also reflecting of the consciousness of the collective energy as well. So when I see certain things happening with groups of people or friends or family or whoever, I am kind of on an I'm observing that. I'm not spaced out, I'm grounded in it. And I'm hearing what that means for humanity and what that means for going forward. And sometimes you hear negative conversations and that actually has a positive impact. There's so much to that. And I'm probably going off on a tangent, but I just want to say that let people have their choices. If people think they only have two choices, let them deal with that. Have compassion, because what's going to start happening is people won't know what to choose anymore. And they'll just give up. And that's what we need. We need full on that energy, because that's 5D, okay? And that's when the collective is going to heal so much faster, and we're going to be able to progress so much quicker, okay? And it's about partnerships, building a team of people that support your energy, that support your voice. Because when you build and build and build, the voice gets louder and louder and louder, and the collective has no choice but to hear it. It's like they'll just start getting downloads. People that never get these kind of downloads will start to just hear it, and it will all start to ripple like that. I keep saying ripple. And if you know about crypto, you know I like that I like that coin. So that's another thing. It's even on that layer, like the financial system, all of this stuff rippling out. It's all about that. It's all about this. We're getting closer to this blockchain as well, and when we get to the blockchain, everything is just going to connect. Okay, all the dots are going to connect instantaneously, and that's where we're working towards. Okay, so I look at things, I zoom out and zoom in, and I look in between different things, so different areas of life, so like the emotions, the finances, and the stability, and all of that. And this week for me seems to be all about getting ourselves stable again, getting ourselves very, very grounded, so that we can kind of start to think about where we're moving forward in life, okay? And this is about travel, communication, about jobs, and just discussing like, what are we going to do about this? So I feel like the change for the positive energy is starting on that day, and I think that that's on the spring. I think that the 20th of March is the spring equinox. I can never say that. Very special energy as well. So this is a very good week. This is a very new beginning in a way, but for some people it might be hard, and it might not be you, it might be your family. But so just hold the compassion for everyone in the collective, okay? Because they're going through a lot. Do I have anything else to say? I don't. It's Mother's Day, so for the personals, the individual readings, they're not going to be as long as they usually are. They're only like 10 minutes anyway, I think. But yeah, they're going to be quicker messages, just because it's Mother's Day and I was late getting up today. I didn't feel like getting up early, so my whole day kind of just went bleh. But I don't care. I'm structured, but I'm also very unstructured when I want to be, and I love that. That's too much about me. I'm going to keep talking. I cut the intro. So choose sorry, sometimes I need to know when to stop. Choose a number between 1, 2 and 3. If you don't know a number, you can go into the description box and choose the timestamp that kind of jumps out to you. That's the way I like to do it, if I can't visually feel anything. So yes, I will begin. Hello, group number 1. So before we pull any tarot cards, I'm going to kind of tune in and feel what I think gets you, what's something that triggers you the most, and then we're going to kind of see, I'm going to ask my higher self just to show me what would work best for this collective in that situation. Okay, so I actually feel like you're the group that doesn't really deal well with change. Change kind of does trigger you sometimes, and that is okay. I feel like you're the type of person to want to really cocoon and get really just not deal with things. So you know certain things have to change, but you would rather just stay away and hide away from everything that's happening out there. So that's something I feel like triggers you. I think all of the stuff that is happening in the world is very triggering, and you don't like to be given information from people being like, read this and read up on that, and it's like a little bit overwhelming. So don't force yourself to do that if it doesn't feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel like the right time for you to, you know, be reading certain information that is given to you by another spiritual friend who's very much about the truth and all of that. You need to just state your boundaries first of all. So you do, yeah, like I feel like you kind of are like, okay, yeah. So I feel here that what you need to work on is boundaries with people, because what I had to learn was boundaries with people as well. I was very much like telling everybody all of this information, and it wasn't right for them at that moment. They were going through their own stuff. So like, just because I'm starting to be my own little researcher and doing channeling and all this stuff, and I'm woo woo to some people, like to me it's normal, but to some people it's so woo woo, and it's not. It's very intense, and I feel like that triggers you on a different level, where it's the collective word events, things like that just really just get you triggered. So I want to let you know that you can't let that happen over and over and over again, because you're going to eventually get very sad. Okay, that's just something I'm picking up. So it's time to kind of, yeah, it's kind of, the feeling that I'm getting is that you need to state where you're at, okay, with people, and basically say, I get that, I understand that, it's just right now I'm not really looking at that for right now, okay? I know you're passionate about this, I know you like that, and blah 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 blah, but just don't push me. That's all you need to say, because I feel like that's what's happening with you. There's this kind of like, but while you're dealing with your own shit, people are telling you stuff that's happening that you don't care about at this moment in time, and that is okay. Okay, just know that. Just because everybody else is talking about certain things and you feel like you have to join in, but first of all, don't, because that just gets you nowhere. You need to focus on yourself when you're feeling like, and the positive trigger that I feel would work best for you is when you are feeling like you're getting sucked into people's drama, or getting sucked into people's fear-based ways of looking at collective stuff, like they're on the right track. I feel like this is where you're at. You know that people are on the right track with the information, but there's also this like loaded bit of fear on it as well, and that's not what we're about. We're not about the fear. We're all about the truth, but when the truth is loaded with fear, it's not the truth, because fear is not real. Okay, so when you feel that, you have to kind of just be like, that's just a bit negative, and it kind of scares me, whatever, and just state where you're at. That's different for everyone, because some people here I feel like would just be like, piss off. Okay, and that's okay. I feel like you wanted clarity on, is it okay to just tell people to piss off? Yes, it is. It's fine. People need to just grow a set of balls sometimes and not get offended about everything. Okay, we are all about love and light, but when you cross the line, it's time to piss off, or I'll piss on you. Sorry, okay, too far. Anyway, as I was talking, so when you get sucked into that, that's kind of your descending, okay, because they're sucking your energy out of you, okay. So what you kind of do, so with emotional triggers, the best thing to do is, in this for you is to change your environment. So to completely just get yourself out of the situation, if you can, go into the toilet and do some breathing, deep breathing, and then just walk back out and you'll be completely fine. That's the best way to transmute their shit. Okay, so you walk into another room, you do some deep breathing, and then you just let go. And then that's the quickest way to do it. But then if you really have been feeling really, really like drained by people, Do a proper like breath work exercise. There's so many different ways you can do breath work. So many different techniques. There's gentle, there's intense. I like the intense, but I wouldn't recommend that for everybody. Especially if you have epilepsy or you're pregnant, don't do breath work that's very intense. Do the lighter ones. What was I going to say? Yeah, you could just Google it. Or YouTube it, I mean. There is a spirit. Sorry, there is a spirit there, and it's not a spirit. It's not a spirit for you. Let's just say that. I have to kind of clear I haven't cleared the energy in this room, and I've been doing a lot of like spiritual work. So, I need to get on that. Not today, but tomorrow. So, for you, we have the Nine of Cups reversed. Okay. This is about trust for you. You just really don't know what to trust anymore. Yeah, you don't know what to trust. This is good energy though. You don't really know what to trust. So this is kind of a good place to be, because this is like whenever you are in an area that is very fourth dimension, okay, where is very 4D way of thinking, consciousness. That's what I'm getting here from this. So you're kind of in that 4D, but you're in the stage where it's kind of scary, and you're like, I don't know. I feel like I don't even know what I'm talking. What? And you're like what's happening, basically. You're planting seeds. This is the reason that this happens. So the way that he is in this card, it's like he wants to plant the seeds. We're having the spring equinox soon as well. So this is a good indication that your mind is going to very much change quickly. Okay, you're going to feel a lot freer, a lot calmer very, very soon. Okay, because new ideas are going to be planted in, and you are going to be ready for the new change, because you're going to actually have confidence that it's a positive thing. Okay, because that's what I feel with this card. This is not a very lovely and positive deck all the time, but this card for me, this Two of Wands, I love it. It makes me feel happy. And we have garlic here on the bottom. So is that garlic or a mushroom? It's a garlic. I could smell garlic. It is garlic. So with that, I feel like, garlic is to get rid of the vampires. So this is what I feel is happening with the spring equinox. It's like more light is starting to shine, and we're going through this transition. And as I said in the intro, I feel like a lot of people are going through an awakening, because on the collective I can see that. So yeah. Let's see. Anything else? The Chariot. Okay. You might literally need to wear I actually see a helmet. I don't know what this is. It could be literal, and it might not be. But I think when you're traveling a far distance, make sure that you have your armor. Okay, so that could be for someone who drives a motorcycle or whatever. Wear a helmet. But also it could just mean that be prepared when you're going long journeys. Do you have the equipment and everything that you need? Because things are going to be moving so fast. Like literally, you could be driving fast, but also things will start to move fast when you're doing these things. Because I don't know if anyone is going on a journey, or if anyone drives, is driving fast, or just be very cautious of how you're driving. This is just what I'm picking up, okay? Because I don't see anything like an accident, but it's just like, come on, this is your higher self basically saying, come on, respect. Like, I know you can sometimes be a little fearless, but don't be completely stupid either. Like, be grounded in your decisions. Okay, because you know, sometimes you're just focused on the, like, getting to A to B, and you're not really focusing on what the whole journey of the chariot entails, because it's a lot about like things moving very quickly, but are you ready for those quick changes? Because this is what this is coming into. That's what I'm feeling with this. It's like, once the idea will be planted, will you be ready? Some of you will be ready, but some of you will have like a little bit of preparation to do. But it's not a bad thing. It's just like, get prepared for things to change in your life in the next couple of months. So it's not just this week. Like, this is just general energy that check up. So for some people it could be this week, but this is just messages that could come through, and it could be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should, because certain thing is happening in a month's time, or something you might even know is, you might feel that something's about to happen as well. One last card. Yeah. Your emotion, I knew this. So your emotions are going to be very much like, oh my god, what is going on? It's like, for an example, you might lose something, and then you're like, oh, and you can't find it, and then you end up going outside, and it's you step in mud or whatever, and it's just like you're having one of those days. So your week might feel a little bit like, so it's just going to be emotionally high. But this is part of what I was feeling with the collective energy. It's just going to be a healing week. And this is very, very good. We need to have these things kind of like surface so that we can kind of let go of it. So when you're feeling really like, just breathe. Again. Look, she just looks like she needs to take a breath. And the moon is actually breathing in that energy, or breathing out. So the moon is kind of being like, it's an illusion. Wake up. Your life is not as bad as you think it is. That's what the moon is. The moon is like, you know, the illusion. The reflection of the sun. Yeah. Excuse me. Jesus. That was like something went from my throat. But yeah. Thank you so much, group number 1. If you would like a private reading, the link is down below. If you want more content from me, I have a Patreon. And is there anything else I need to say? Don't think so. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the future. Goodbye. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your energy checkup. So, as I said in the intro, if you haven't watched it, I wanted to look into people's collective, I wanted to look into the positive triggers that you can use when you are being triggered negatively. So a lot of that has to do with like just changing our environment, making sure like putting on nice music or whatever. There's so many different things that you can do. You can Google it and research yourself. I'm just going to tune into what I feel would work best for you. So I'm going to look at what triggers you. First of all, I feel that someone has a big mouth and they trigger you. That's one thing that I'm getting. Also, someone likes to sorry, parents. If you can hear that, it's just someone outside the room. Sorry, I was literally away. I asked my higher self to ask them to go away because they were distracting me, and they're gone. Anyway, okay. So what I'm feeling is, I think that someone in your life has a bit of a big mouth, and they are very much just grinding your gears, or it's just the way that they speak to you is just very like infuriating. And I honestly think that this has a lot to do with, it could be your parents, or it could be someone who feels like they have power over you, or someone, it could be, it's just someone who feels like they're above you even. That's just generally what it feels like for me. So it could be a parent, it could be someone, a boss, or it could be just a friend or who thinks that they're better than you. That's the energy that I'm getting. But with that, I am feeling that there is the negative demonic energies here trying to play with your attachments to things, and your things that you might feel like you're a little bit addicted to, or certain habits that you have. And then when you do these habits, you have this shame come on you, or you have someone kind of saying something to you that makes you feel that shame, or makes you feel bad about yourself. I just want to let you know that shame is how these negative entities get energy from you. So when you feel shame, they're like sucking that, and you're like, yeah, they're enjoying it. Okay, so shame is something that is needed to be worked on, I feel like, for this group. I think it's just recently it's felt a little bit like this, but the way that it feels like it's working for me recently with a lot of my clients as well is that, you know, before we used to keep, because it feels very masculine as well. It feels like it's external. So what I mean by that is, like, someone is saying something to you that makes you feel shame, or you might have an accident, or you might make a mistake physically, and people will notice and you'll feel shame, or you'll just embarrass yourself as well. Because, you know, sometimes we can have that internal shame where we are in our head and then we feel the shame and it's nothing really is happening. It's kind of like just we're making it up in our heads as well. We could be assuming something and it's not even, like, there's no reason to be assuming anything, especially if it's bad about yourself. But what it feels like for me is, like, because you've been working so much on your inner world, it's like, okay, well, the negative energies have no other option but to make your external world look a little crazy. It's like the last blockage before you can kind of move past all of that. So whenever your physical world starts to make you feel shame, or you embarrass yourself, or you make a mistake, or something that you really don't want to do happens, or whatever it is. Like, you could be in a cafe and you spill a cup of tea all over yourself and you get massive shame. The demons are laughing at you. Okay? So this is what I feel. You just don't want to be judged externally, because then that kind of undoes what you've been doing in here. So you've been working so well to fix yourself here, and now it's like the external world is trying to test you. So you can't let that get to you, is what I'm hearing. So these people, you need to be firm with them. You need to be like, you can't say that to me. But you see, then again, you need to also make sure that you're not coming off as weak when you're. So this is the hardest part about setting boundaries. Is like, you try to set boundaries in the beginning. It's practice. Okay, this is what I'm feeling for you. You're gonna have to practice that stuff like this, but it's not always gonna go. Like, setting boundaries takes a long time to actually know how to work with them, and then once you have a certain way of setting boundaries, you'll know how it works for you. Then you'll know when to kind of like move and maneuver things, so that's not so like, because you don't want to be like full on masculine. Like, you can't do that. I always say this to people because people get confused what boundaries actually is. It's not. It's meant to be like respect, basically. Just have respect for me, because people like to use your words against you. Like, you said I can't do this, or you know what I mean. That's what I'm getting. So what I'm feeling for you, group number 2, is I feel like the next time that something like that happens is when you go back to the drawing board. I feel like for you guys, you like to plan things. So that could be, maybe you want to plan something for your birthday. Do that. Maybe you want to plan a vacation, a trip. Maybe you don't have the finances together just yet, but why not just plan it? I feel like that's a very good thing for you to manifest and get yourself back into a positive energy, is to organize. So that also could just mean like organizing something in your home, But I feel like for you, it's organizing your external world, if that makes sense. So when your external world tries to attack you, be like, I know where I'm going in life and it's positive, so this is not even necessary. It's kind of like being like, nice try. Because these negative energies, this is their last kind of way to get to you, to get to the things that make you like, obviously we go through cycles, so for now anyway, we're going to get past this. We want you to move past this. So what I feel for you is that you need to kind of look at what is the best option for you right now in regards to what can you organize, or what can you think about doing going ahead into your future. So where do you want to go? What kind of things do you want to study? And then look into like a certain course that you could do, or what kind of tools and supplies do you need? Really just getting into that, because we get lost on social media and TV and everything. We get lost with that when we can just like get at a table and start doing like a little spider diagram of how we're feeling, or what we want to do, and what we know in our heart is true for us, for our future, and things like that. I think you're very organizational, so that's just what I feel is your positive trigger, something to do with organizing. And that even could start off with making a little box with like notes inside with positive triggers. So if you actually, really are really low and you have zero energy to like do something, the best thing to do is just pull it out of a box and be like, okay, I'm going to try to do that. Because then the universe decides for you. But yeah, that's all I'm getting with that. Let me see. Oh my god, I'm running low on time, so this is going to have to be quick. They're all flying out, sorry. And it's so funny, the two that are on the ground. I don't know what that one is because it's up the other way. I'm just going to pick them off the floor. Wow, okay. Well, that is partly my own energy, because I was like, I need to hurry up on time. And that's something that I never do. So there's a little message with that. I feel like finances is actually something that you're worried about. So I have the King of Wands, I have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay, some of you, again, it feels like work stuff. So maybe some of you have a boss that you just don't really get on with. I feel that is coming to a kind of a breaking point where you're just going to be like, ugh, I don't care anymore. Okay? That's literally how I feel. Like, not like a breaking point as in like, we don't have the Tower here, we just have the Ten of Swords. So you're going to finally like break free of caring what this person thinks, and they're not going to rage you, or they're not going to anger you anymore. And that could be that you're just focusing on other things as well. You might even want to be planning on getting a new job. Some of you, I'm hearing that now, and that's why this is here. It's like, it's not worth the hours for all of the work that you do. You're thinking this already, I feel like. All of the work that you do, it's not worth your time. Like, it's not worth it. It's really just, you don't feel human. You feel like a machine. That's what I feel like with that. And with the King of Wands being reversed, this King of Wands, he's surrounded by kids. I feel like something for you is spending more time with children, and you don't get enough time. If you have kids, you don't get enough time to spend with your children because of your work, or because of the way that your life is at the minute. So this is all changing very quickly, I feel like, for you. But it has to be like, what I keep hearing, what do you need to do for yourself? What is the best decision that you could make right now that will change things going forward? And this is going to, I feel like the biggest thing here is planning. So when you plan, all of these small little things that were triggering you before us just start to slowly fall away. Because I don't think you get triggered very massively. It's just small little things that kind of like try to nip at you. I literally see like this little entity like just kind of pulling at your energy and like nipping you. That's what it is, because it's you've built a strong kind of aura, energy, whatever, around yourself, and it's like they're trying to nip in and kind of pull at you to get on your tits. That's what I'm feeling. And then anyone that's not to do with work, if it's to do with a relationship, or I feel like I'm not going to say friendship now with what I'm reading here, but for someone at the start of this video, or at the start of this reading, that might be for you, but right here I just feel like it's work, or it's something to do with a partnership, okay? But that might be needing resolved, and I think that it's kind of about, you know, trying to resolve that, because I feel like the person that you are kind of in conflict with, they don't really know what's up. They don't know, because you're not saying it. You're not saying how your life feels. If that makes sense. That makes no sense. But anyway. But yeah, that is all I have for you, group number 2. Thank you so much for watching. And if you would like a personal reading from me, the link to my website is down below. And if you would like extra content, I have a Patreon. And yes, I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, group number 3. As you can see, it's a different day. So yesterday, when I was recording this video, I wasn't really paying attention to the time, as I have no clocks in here when I don't really have a watch. This is not a watch. I don't really pay attention to the time. I just kind of flow with things. So I didn't realize what time it was, and it was Mother's Day yesterday. Had a really nice time. Ate loads of junk food, as you can see by my face. And yeah, I just panicked, and I feel like I was looking today, and Aries, the moon went into Aries at 8 o'clock this morning here in Ireland, and I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning, and I had all of this acne on my face, like. You can't see it that much because I'm wearing a little tiny bit of concealer, so it's not so bright and red on camera. But yeah, my face always flares up when Aries goes into the moon. And Aries is ruled by the face. So yeah, if you're having any acne issues, it's probably because the moon is in Aries at the minute. And also, the start of the week, I don't know about the other piles. I don't really remember what I said, but what I was feeling kind of today, and it made sense when I came here and I checked the calendar, it just makes sense that I felt very rushed this morning. Like I had to get home and do work, and I have a reading later on. I also have loads of people to reply to. I get a lot of emails recently, so I was like very like, and I was like, wait a second. This is all an illusion, okay? The moon is in Aries. It's getting me emotionally kind of, you know, how Aries can get really ahead of themselves. So I was like, calm the fuck down. So, if the start of your week, when you're seeing this, you're probably seeing this now after Monday, obviously, but if your day was kind of like intense, that's probably why. But luckily for you, group number 3, I feel, with the energy that I was kind of feeling there when I was sitting down, I just sat down and I was like, you know what, this is a good group. I feel that unexpected change is for you later on in the week, probably at the end of the week. It's going to make a lot more sense as to what it actually is. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be scared of. I do think that what you're currently going through is you're having to be there for someone else this week, is what I feel. So you're kind of like in this chill phase where you don't really know what to do with yourself because you're kind of floating. I'm not floating in an ungrounded way. I feel like you are very much grounded, and you're wanting to help who you can around you, because I feel like there's a little bit of people who are upset and who are going through things, and you're just like, because I feel that you're you're in a really good place and you don't know really what you can do other than just kind of be there for people. And I think that that's what mainly your week is about. So that's like the energy overall for you. I do feel though, because I was seeing money stuff and I felt it in the middle of the week, and kind of goes as well with what I'm looking at there on the calendar with Taurus. But I do feel that with you, I am feeling that you're someone, maybe you're not always like this, but you're someone at the minute who is very quick to purchase something, or you're buying too many things that maybe you don't need, or you're spending time with people who maybe are just kind of wasting your time a little bit, because again, you're in this, I can't be bothered with things, okay, you're just like, oh, whatever. But it's not in a fed up way, it's just kind of, you know, you're trying to just keep yourself distracted because everything outside of you seems a little like too much for you to deal with at the minute. Yeah. And also I feel like any big changes that are coming for people, where they're going to wake up and realize certain things, you're just going to be like, this is old news to me. Okay, so that's the way I feel about this group. I feel like you're just like, yeah, this is old news. But someone's going to come forward and say, oh my god, or like, I feel like it's people in the past that just didn't really listen to you or never wanted to really be there for you when you were trying to speak out and go through your healing process. You had to kind of do it alone. And now people are coming to you wanting your attention when they were never really there for you. So it's a hard thing for you to deal with, I feel. And I think that has to do with what's coming at the end of your week. That's the energy feeling at the end of the week. It's just like, there's no real bad, like anything drastic happening. I just feel like you're going to get some unexpected news and it's going to cheer you up a little bit. So it's like a little like treat from the universe. But with this treat, you have to do something sensible with it. And I feel like it's money. I feel like money is coming your way. But I really want you to do something sensible with this money. Like actually invest in something. Or buy something that is going to be for your health or whatever. There's so many different things we can be doing with money that we're being given. People are just kind of wasting it. Okay, I know here in Ireland we're getting these like checks. And I think that that's happening in America actually. Okay, that makes sense. So people that are getting abundance coming to them, do something with that abundance. Don't just let it sit there, or don't spend it on clothes. Where are we going? Or maybe you're buying too many crystals, or whatever it is, whatever your guilty pleasure is. Maybe just take a step back from that for a second. Look at what you have. Do you have enough of it? Do you need to buy some more? No. That's kind of what my higher self is telling me at the minute. It's like everyone is getting kind of hyped up for something that they don't know what's about to change. So they're kind of just acting out of the ordinary, where they're just impulse buying and stuff like that, or spending too much time with people who are that kind of energy, if you know what I mean. Because I did feel as well, I felt like there for like maybe last week you spent a lot of time to yourself and you felt a little bit of guilt, which you shouldn't ever feel, but you felt a little bit of guilt because certain people were coming and asking you, did you want to do something, or did you want, like, maybe to call you on Zoom or something, and you were like making excuses, and now you're thinking, oh, should I? If you don't feel like it, you don't have to. You don't have to spend time with people if it's like if you have to do something because, you know, it'll keep them happy, but it's not worth your energy, don't do it. We do so much things to keep people happy. Like, it's not, because I don't feel like this is someone who's using you or anything. It's just you're on a different frequency to them at the minute, and you need to wait till they kind of, you know, turn up the frequency on their end before you feel connected to reach out to them. That's the way it feels like, okay? So it's just because you're not getting the same feeling from someone doesn't mean that that's it, it's cut, it's over and done with. just means that maybe you and your friends or whoever it is just aren't really resonating at the right now. So words don't actually help because it's energy. If you know by feeling the energy, you know that kind of spending time and talking is just going to bring up like wounds that maybe are going to require your energy to maybe help that person with that or whatever, because I feel like a lot of people want your attention this week, and I think again it's a week for yourself. Yes, 10 of Swords. That's the energy that I feel. I feel that after this week you're kind of going to then have a week where you are feeling a lot fresher because you feel very content. With me, what I'm feeling that it's been all about you the past couple of weeks, even months, like from the start of the year, it's been a lot about you. What I feel though is what's happening is after this week you're going to start to notice a change where you're going to want to get out more. You're going to want to come out of that hermit mode that you've maybe been in, and you're going to actually like enjoy going out for walks, and because I don't feel like you're not doing that, but you're going to enjoy like going to the grocery store. You're going to enjoy going out to meet your friends and stuff, but it's just not the right time at the minute. You need to like just let them do whatever, but I want you to really focus on your abundance and make sure that you're not spending money on things that you don't need. Transition, we have the Death card. You're like, this is good because this explains why I feel I felt this externally for you. 9 of Wands. Okay. And one last card. Six of Wands. Exactly. Sorry. It looks really bad. So, that's the way it feels like for the week. I want to just let you know. It feels like you're just having like an off week where nothing really seems to be going great, but you're not really bothered. You're kind of in the void. You're in the limbo of like, I don't really get this week. That's the energy I feel. Because you're going through your own internal transition while you deal with everyone else's external shit, okay? So we have the 10 of Swords here, and we have the Death card. So that's a massive transition, and that's throughout the whole week, kind of. But what it is you're feeling the energy of everyone else. So while everyone else is getting all anxious and everything, you're starting to kind of absorb it. So that's what I mean. There's this mass kind of like there where things start to feel new. With the spring equinox too on, is that Saturday? Saturday. That's going to be a big kind of like transition of energy as well for the collective, and you're going to notice a change then in yourself, and you're also going to be able to free up the clogginess that's in your mind at the minute, okay? And with the 9 of Wands, he's writing in a notepad. So I think this has a lot to do with planning out, on Excel or different spreadsheets, organizing your abundance, your funds, making plans for the future and stuff like that. I think that's what's really going to help get your mind, like get that brain fog away and kind of dump your energy into that. That's what I feel with that, because at the end of the week we have the 6 of Wands, and that's what I feel. At the end of the week you're going to be like so happy because this unexpected like surprise, which I don't know if it's to do with because I said that in a minute, but I don't know if it's to do with certain checks or anything like that. I think it's something different, where you're going to get, well, with this is like getting noticed as well, but you're going to feel a lot more special. So maybe you've not really been getting any attention, not that you're an attention seeker, but you've been kind of helping everyone else, and then someone's going to kind of offer something to you. Could be from higher up, it could be government, but I feel like you're going to be offered something that's going to make you feel really like, feeling like, okay, people do respect me. That's what I'm getting with your energy. Overall, it's really nice. And I don't know, anything else? One last thing I'm hearing is common sense is not very common. I feel like that is a frustration with you this week. It's just you wish people would just use common sense, but it's not very common. So that's just something I heard. And yeah. So whatever frustrations you might have with other people, just let it fly and you keep doing you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. If you would like a private reading, link is down below. And if you would like extra content from me, I have a Patreon down there too in the description. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next week. Bye!